You feel stuck at your job and you're seeing online people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are getting view, people are posting content a lot. People are just all over the internet, like everybody in the internet, and everybody trying to sell this and trying to sell that. And you want a piece of that because you hate your job. You don't like to go to your job 9 to 5, and nobody does. And it's crushing your soul every single day. But you have no choice because you have to pay your rent and you have to take care of the people. And here and there, probably you think about escaping it, but then you're so afraid of getting out of your job and risking it to do whatever the next business ideas or whatever you want to do. But the problem with that is you feel uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen and you never start. With all the business ideas that you had, with all the ideas you had, you can probably go through your notes after notes after notes. Like I used to have thousands of notes, and with this is the business I would start, this is the business I would start. But then I realized if I don't quit my job, if I'm not willing to quit my job right now and start the business that I've always wanted to start, I'm not even serious at this point to actually start my own business because I'm not showing it. There is two way of doing things. One is you say things and one is you stop and you do things. And look, I know a lot of you'll feel uncertain. You'll feel that what if I quit, then I don't have any job. I don't even know like when am I going to get my next job. But let me tell you something. If you have a business ideas, you are seeing all these people making money online. Why you are still doubting yourself? What is it that is causing these thoughts? Like if you've always wanted to start a business, right? Then prove it. Quit your job right now and get uncomfortable and then start whatever you just wanted to start. Like take the loan and take the risk. But but you don't do that. Trust me neither. For lots of years I've just talked about this, but I never really took actions. And then one day I sit down and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking. I says, you know what? I have to start this business. And why I don't feel the motivation, or why am I not doing what I say I would do? You know? And I realized it's because the reason why I didn't do it is because I felt pressured. I felt pressured that what if it doesn't work out? I would see myself that I'm constantly thinking the negative thoughts instead of thinking, what if it does work out? What if I make hundreds of thousands of dollars? And maybe sometimes you'd be able to pull it off, start a business, but in the meantime, you would quit. Some people, there is a level to this. You start like, then you're better than probably 50% of the people. And you start, you're not seeing any results. You're kind of halfway through and then you quit. That's like 90% of the people. And the only percent of the people, 1% of the people that are able to go through this downtime, risk it all, and still keep their head high until they go up to the top. That's why there's lots of filtering that requires for you to get to the top. And I've realized, and I told myself, okay, let's just learn from my experiences, right? So let's say I have one thing, very important task that I need to do, and I'm avoiding it. And I told myself, why am I avoiding it? It's because I feel the pressure. What if it doesn't work out? And so I distract myself with the pleasure. I do other things, but I never really put my head down onto the thing that I told myself I would do, like which would eventually make me money or give me some results. But I'm avoiding it because it feels hard. It feels so hard. Like I don't want to do this. Like it just constant, like just the block. Your mental, like your mental psyche just blocks it for some reason. So then I realize, okay, so how do I get rid of this, right? And I thought to myself, like, and then I kind of analyzed of what the people who would say, like there are people like Bob Proctor, there are like what Andrew Tate say. In the Bob Proctor way, it says your old paradigm is running on you. Pressure is just a feeling. Decide what you want, visualize the result daily, and act as if you are already that person who gets it done. Feeling follows action, not the other way around. So, it's a different mindset, different way. And then Andrew Tate would say, you're soft. Pressure is the filter that separates the winner from the loser. Stop numbing yourself with dopamine. Do the hardest thing first. Comfort is the enemy. Get up and execute. No debate. So, you see, different people have different mentality and way of framing into their brain. And I realize the reason it has value, the reason you would make hundreds of thousands of dollars is because it is pressured. If it wasn't pressured, everybody would have done it. And then everybody would have been rich by now. But it's not, because not everybody is willing to take the pressure. So then I realize the pressure directly correlates to how much rich you will be. If you want to be like more rich, you have to take the more pressure. There's people like Tate and Jeff Bezos, they have multiple lawsuits, they have this. Donald Trump itself have sexual assault charges, more than 17 charges. His house got raided. I realize this pressure correlates to how successful you will be. And as much as I wanted to avoid, I couldn't. But most of the people, when they see the pressure, they numb themselves with alcohol and partying and all the other things. So that's why you'll see the people who party and always on the street, they become success very less, because that's what they constantly do, numb themselves, because they cannot take the pressure. They don't have the ability to take the pressure. Now, I realize how do I deal with pressure? Like, how do I deal with pressure? Right? So how can you deal with pressure? You got to realize one thing, is that the reason it has value because of the pressure. And the only time you'd be able to deal with your pressure when you are able to visualize the good thing, the outcome, the positive outcome to it. If you cannot visualize the positive outcome to it, you'll not be able to pass through this. Let's say if I get this done, you give yourself a reward because you have done the fucking hardest thing. Maybe go to a book a hotel for yourself. Go to a hotel. You have got these things done. You have to see the positive in the action. You have to see the positive outcome. You have to see the positive outcome. Meanings that you would have to visualize how it would feel when you do this task. Your bank is flown away by $1,000. And bam! I know that this is more like a mental trick, but that's the way to get shit done. If you don't think that way, you'll not be able to get shit done. Because if you don't think this way, then you'd get crushed and you'd take the pleasure and constantly you demotivate yourself and direct it to the other thing. Instead, you have the positive outcome. If you feel, when I pull it off, when I pull this off, I will have $100,000 in my bank account. And I could go to visit all the places, and everybody would respect me. And I would have the real freedom to do whatever I want to do. If you go through this way, if you constantly attack by visualizing the faith, you have to have faith. If you don't have the faith, if you don't think the visual outcome, if you don't visualize the outcome, you have to have the faith that it's gonna pull it off. And trust me, something, I've never seen somebody who wants something and never get it, because it's that you have to have the absolute faith for you to go to where you wanna go. You all are the kings and queens. You can achieve absolutely anything in life if you think for yourself. If you pay attention and you never quit, you never demotivate yourself with constant distraction, you sit down and you visualize all the good things, you have the faith, when I do pull it off, how beautiful the life will be. And that's how we win in life.